Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I am making pasta bolognese, which is pasta with meat sauce. And the best thing about this is that I have 4 secret ingredients that are going to make your pasta the best one that you've ever made. And stay until the end if you want to know what the 4 ingredients are. And hit the subscribe button if you're new here. If not, then just enjoy this video. I loved making this. My family loves it. It's really easy to make. You can make this from start to finish in about half an hour. So it's perfect for a weeknight. And I start by putting about 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a skillet. And I'm going to put the meat in and then just brown it. You know how to brown meat. I'm sure even if you've just started cooking, this is one of the things that you can do and learn how to do very easily. So what you're looking for is that you're looking for the meat to be brown, and you're breaking it up with a wooden spoon, as I'm doing there. You have to get a hold of the skillet because sometimes it moves around, but just break it up with a wooden spoon like that. I love to cook with wooden spoons. I think it's better than a spatula or a metal spoon. So just do that, break it up like that, and then you want this over fairly high heat because you're browning. When you're browning, you're doing it over high heat. So mine is at medium high, and I'm going to let it do that and get brown and break it up. And this is going to take 5 to 7 minutes. Now, you don't have to break it up the whole time. Let it cook on the bottom like I'm doing there. And then, just pay attention to it. As you can see, most of the pink is gone now. This has been 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm adding 4 teaspoons or 4 cloves of garlic. This is going to depend on the size of your garlic, but I let this cook for about 1 minute, along with 1 tablespoon of oregano, dried oregano, and 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm crushing them in my hand to release the oils, and that's the best thing to do with dried spices like those that are not powdered. So you want the leaves and the flakes to release their oils, because then once they go into the heat, they really bloom. And that's the term for it in cooking, is blooming the spices. And you want to make sure you mix them up with that oil and with the meat, and then it gives a completely different taste to your dish. So it's very important to do that. It's one of those tricks that you pick up along the way when you learn how to cook. So it's something that I would like to show you and point it out to you. And then make sure you mix it in. As I said, you're blooming this, you are expanding the flavor, and I have quite a few more ingredients. I let this go for about 1 minute. You want to cook that garlic. You want to make sure that it gets lightly browned. If you ever burn garlic, then you have to start all over again, because there's nothing worse than that. And this is secret ingredient number 1. It's 1 cup of beef broth. This is going to make your sauce taste as if you've been cooking it all day, even though it's only been about 30 minutes. That's all the sauce takes to make. So beef broth is delicious. You can also use beef stock. And it comes in the 32-ounce packages, and you can keep it in the fridge for about a week if you can use it for other things. And I love to add it to tomato sauces. And this is 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. You want that intense tomato flavor, and it also changes the texture of the sauce. I think that a tomato sauce with tomato paste, even if you add other tomato products to it, it really clings to the pasta better, so it changes the texture. That's why I always add at least 1 tablespoon of tomato paste to my sauces. This is 2 tablespoons, and you want to make sure that you incorporate it like that with the meat. You want to make sure that it's well distributed, because it can get very clumpy. So you have to take the time to do this. So you'll probably take about 10 minutes putting the sauce together. Then you add the 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I prefer crushed tomatoes. I think that whole tomatoes that you crush yourself are just an extra step that's not needed. So I prefer to buy them crushed, but some people like to crush their own, and that's fine. You can put it in a food processor or crush them with your hands. That's a matter of personal preference. So I just prefer to buy them crushed. And I use the fire roasted tomatoes, which are even more delicious. So that's another tip. And then I'm going to add half a tablespoon of kosher salt. That's 2 teaspoons. If you're using table salt, use 1 teaspoon. So half the amount, because the volume is different. And then I'm going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of pepper, which is about half a tablespoon. So this kind of approximates, you can approximate how much you like. So taste it, see how you like it, but that's the amount of salt and pepper that I like. So the first time you make the recipe, make it like that. And now I'm going to lower the heat, put it on low or medium low, and then move on to the pasta. So boiling salted water, I have 12 ounces of pasta, and I'm going to cook it for about 8 to 10 minutes, while the sauce now has been simmering for about 10 minutes, and I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Now this is secret ingredient number 2. It's really delicious. And now number 3 is fresh basil, a 1/4 cup of fresh basil. Make sure you use fresh. The dried stuff is not going to cut it here. And then secret ingredient number 4 is a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. It's really delicious, and it gives your sauce a beautiful blush, and it makes it richer. So you have fresh herbs, which is going to work with that tomato that came out of a can. You know, if it's not summer, you don't have fresh tomatoes, and you want that fresh taste, add fresh herbs. If you don't have fresh basil, not a lot of people buy basil every time they go grocery shopping. You can also use parsley, but I think basil gives it a really delicious flavor. And the heavy cream, heavy whipping cream is what I use. It's what my husband uses in his coffee, so I always have it around. And it makes the sauce so rich, and that beautiful rosy blush there. So after this, you're going to let it simmer for another 8 to 10 minutes while the pasta is cooking. And then after that, you're just going to toss the sauce and the pasta together. So I'm adding half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm putting it on top of the sauce for a reason, because I want the pasta to go on top and to touch that Parmesan cheese. And then I toss the 3 of them together. So pasta, cheese, and sauce. So there's a reason why you want the pasta to be in touch with the cheese, because the cheese clings to the pasta and it makes kind of a rough surface on the pasta, and that makes the sauce cling to it even better. So I don't like sauces that have a puddle of liquid at the bottom of the plate. So that's why I do it like this. And then you toss the pasta together in the skillet. That's why you need to start with a big skillet. A 12-inch skillet is perfect, which is what this one is. So invest in good cookware. You know, if you're learning how to cook, if you cook for your family every night, it's worth it to use the right tool that you need for the job. So it looks beautiful. This is what it looks like. It was delicious. We had it for dinner and everybody loved it. And thank you for being here. I appreciate your views. And if you're new here, as I said, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you'll get my other videos. I try to post at least twice a week or every other day, and I have a lot of comfort food dishes like this because that's how I love to cook. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it, and I hope you make this dish, and I hope it's delicious. I hope your family loves it, and if you have any questions, put it in the comments below. Thank you.